I was gonna ask you, are you responsible for getting that Taylor song in the
I
trailer?
mean, you know.
You phone a friend? Shoot a text, maybe?
You know.
Why was this important?
I think it goes back to what we were just saying about how the story resonated with so many people. So there's a great responsibility. I'm Spider-Man. I'm Spider-Man. I'm Spider-Man.
The rings, the
What?
mixing of.
Okay, I don't dress like this in real life, but like I'm having to like do interviews and talk, so I'm gonna wear like a crazy pattern. Because this is a tiny movie, like it's big and flashy and summery, and we're like, it's a summer blockbuster, but really it's a very like kind of low budget movie.
Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Back in 2014, before Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds became as wealthy and powerful as they are today, they were just a newly married couple, not even parents, yet. Ryan wasn't Deadpool, and Blake certainly wasn't Lily Bloom. But even back then, they had very high opinions of themselves. Two narcissists who fell in love over their shared admiration for money, Martha Stewart, and, well, Deadpool. Blake. Lively was preparing to launch a website, one she believed everyone would want to visit simply because she did. It was called Preserve. When you read through interviews with Blake and Ryan, a pattern emerges. They do what they want because they assume everyone else wants the same. In a 2014 Vogue cover interview, Blake Lively revealed something that left people laughing, mocking, and scratching their heads. What she admitted so openly seemed bizarre. Why would she say such things? Why confess them at all? Why on earth would Blake Lively admit that she and her husband lie about everything? That was 11 years ago. She openly stated they were lying. That everything was a lie. So why should we believe them now? Let's take a look at a few excerpts from that Vogue cover story, published on July the 17th, 2014, 10 years before It Ends With Us was released. The journalist, writing in first person, noted, "When I compliment her, she describes the look as if Sling Blade and Pocahontas had a baby. She has a tendency toward deadpan humor, often delivered with a laconic stare, making it hard to tell whether she's joking or not." Blake added, "When I say something funny, I don't laugh. So my friends are always like, ha ha, so people know. When I'm not with them, I always think, this person doesn't know I'm funny. They just think I'm a jerk." This is a woman who truly believes she's funny, superior, and if you don't get it, well, that's on you. Welcome back to my channel. Back in 2014, before Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds became as wealthy and powerful as they are today, they were just a newly married couple. Not even parents yet. Ryan wasn't Deadpool, and Blake certainly wasn't Lily Bloom. But even back then, they had very high opinions of themselves. Two narcissists who fell in love over their shared admiration for money, Martha Stewart, and, well, Deadpool. Blake. Lively was preparing to launch a website, one she believed everyone would want to visit simply because she did. It was called Preserve. When you read through interviews with Blake and Ryan, a pattern emerges. They do what they want because they assume everyone else wants the same. In a 2014 Vogue cover interview, Blake Lively revealed something that left people laughing, mocking, and scratching their heads. What she admitted so openly seemed bizarre. Why would she say such things? Why confess them at all? Why on earth would Blake Lively admit that she and her husband lie about everything? That was 11 years ago. She openly stated they were lying. That everything was a lie. So why should we believe them now? Let's take a look at a few excerpts from that Vogue cover story, published on July the 17th, 2014, 10 years before It Ends With Us was released. The journalist, writing in first person, noted, "When I compliment her, she describes the look as if Sling Blade and Pocahontas had a baby. She has a tendency toward deadpan humor, often delivered with a laconic stare, making it hard to tell whether she's joking or not." Blake added, "When I say something funny, I don't laugh. So my friends are always like, ha ha, so people know. When I'm not with them, I always think, this person doesn't know I'm funny. They just think I'm a jerk." This is a woman who truly believes she's funny, superior, and if you don't get it, well, that's on you. If you don't find her funny, it's your fault, not hers. Because apparently, if someone has to tell people they're funny, they probably aren't. Another strange moment from the interview came when she stopped mid-conversation to take a work call. Back in the car, once she got an editor on the phone, the 26-year-old Gossip Girl star surprised the journalist with her strong opinions. She said, "With the bow tie story, I think shifting to the first person would make it feel more personal, more of that authentic, flawed voice we're aiming for. I was a little liberal with my revisions, but the humor was already there, so I just went with it. She flipped through manuscripts in her lap before turning to another piece. I think the writer should just scrap it and start over. This guy's work is beautiful, but what's the story? Why bags? Why leather? Why the European military influence? She paused. And one thing I notice in every piece, the word thing. My dad was an English professor. There are always more eloquent and descriptive words. Now let's be real, Gossip Girl wasn't a massive hit. Sure, it had a cult following, but its viewership numbers weren't groundbreaking. On an average week, only 1 million people tuned in, which for a network show isn't great. Yet, she carried herself like she was a lead in Friends or some wildly successful sitcom. She spoke with authority, but also with a level of condescension. And as her fame grew, so did her ego. In that same 2014 interview, she also spoke about Ryan Reynolds, saying, "He's a part of it because everything we do in life, we do together. If I'm working on a movie, he helps me with my character. And I do the same for him. Even picking out a coffee table or deciding what to eat, we do it all together. He's a beautiful writer. He's written a lot for us, and he has a great barometer. He knows me so well that he'll tell me if something isn't as good as it can be." She continued, "He's going to be a great father, a great leader, and a patriarch. He's so meant to be all of those things. The fact that he lived so much before we got together, he's the exact realized person he should be. And now I get to share my life with the person he's become, and we get to grow from there." She wanted her husband to be her patriarch, to be her leader. She wanted him to help pick out her clothes, to assist with her lines. The relationship sounded incredibly codependent, lacking boundaries, space, or independence. And that's the thing about narcissistic relationships. There's a deep need for constant validation. They need each other as a source of emotional supply. Yet Blake Lively has always branded herself as a feminist. Even in 2014, she claimed to be one. But how does that align with her desire for a patriarch? She wanted her husband to lead her, something completely opposite of what she claims to stand for today. Her beliefs aren't rooted in true feminism. They're rooted in traditional power dynamics. And the way she speaks, the entitlement in her words, is astounding. Imagine being on set with someone like that, someone who believes they know more than everyone else, yet lacks the self-awareness to realize they don't. It must be exhausting. So when I say it's not all on Ryan, it's not. It's her belief that she is so supreme and all-knowing that it would probably be difficult for anyone to have a real conversation with her. So when I say it's not all on Ryan, I mean it. It's definitely Blake, too. She did another interview with Glamour, and this is where she openly admitted that they lie about everything. The journalist mentioned that Ryan had tweeted something about their daughter, and Blake laughed, saying he may as well work for the Inquirer. When he says, "my daughter," he's never actually talking about her. Everything is a completely made-up scenario. He'll run them by me sometimes just to make me laugh. But oh, I'm so in love with him when he writes that stuff. I mean, I'm in love with him most of the time, but especially when he does that. She openly admitted that she loves when he lies. She enjoys it when he tweets false stories because she finds them funny. But here's the thing. This is not the kind of thing you say out loud. If you truly understood social cues or basic etiquette, you wouldn't publicly admit that you love your husband because he lies. That tells me that her moral compass, her sense of ethics, is not exactly aligned with that of a normal, ethical person. She adores the fact that her husband lies. She even admitted that he might as well work for the National Enquirer. She knows that every single time he tells a story about their kids or anything else, it's a fabrication. And she likes it. She admires this about him. In the same Glamour interview, she also said that she and Ryan enjoy hiding behind acting, hiding behind personas. They admitted that they wear masks and pretend to be people they're not. My husband and I are really shy people who express ourselves best when we're acting, when we're hiding as someone else. So the fact that very shy people have to share that shy person with the world, and you're sometimes hurt by it, it's very weird emotionally. Anyway, champagne problems, but does she even understand what it means to be shy? Because let's be honest, nothing about Blake Lively is shy. A truly shy person wouldn't behave the way she does, wouldn't put themselves out there in the ways she has. What she really admitted was that she and her husband intentionally deceive people. They wear masks, they pretend to be people they're not, and they craft an illusion for the world to believe. So if you're someone who openly admits to lying, someone who admits that their husband lies, someone who confesses to putting on a persona and deceiving people, how can we ever trust anything you say? If they've built their entire public image on illusions and falsehoods, how are we supposed to believe that anything coming out of their mouths now is the truth? Because at the end of the day, these two say whatever they think will get a reaction. They say things for shock value, for laughs, for the thrill of fooling people. They genuinely believe they're smarter than everyone else. But here's the thing. I'm an introvert, a true introvert, and I don't live like that. I don't pretend to be someone I'm not. Real introverts don't have to put on an act. People who constantly fake it, who put on a show, who manipulate others, they do it to deceive. Blake and Ryan, they're basically con artists. There are plenty of actors and actresses who are genuine, who don't have to get lost in a character to function in the world. But Blake openly admits that Ryan lies all the time, and she loves it. So why would we believe anything they say? Especially when it comes to their lawsuit? Think about it. We know Ryan isn't some marketing genius. We know Blake never filed an HR complaint. We know she never went to the union. We know she's lying when she says he sexually harassed her. We know she's lying about a smear campaign. They have been telling us who they really are for over a decade, yet Hollywood ignores it. Why? Because they think Ryan is handsome? Because they want to uphold the image of this beautiful couple? Honestly, I find them both completely average. And I don't say that to insult anyone's looks, but let's be real. Neither of them stand out. Blake has had a ton of plastic surgery, breast augmentation, multiple nose jobs, eyelid work, lip, fillers. And to be clear, I have nothing against plastic surgery. But if we're talking about natural beauty, she's not it. Without all of that, she'd just be Blake Brown. Because yes, even her name is fake. Her real name isn't even Blake. Lively. She legally changed it before she turned 18. It's a stage name. She was born Blake Brown. But I guess that wasn't exciting enough for her. So yes, when I say that Blake is the problem, I mean it. Yes, she's a liar. Yes, he's a liar. And yes, their relationship is deeply codependent. Let's go back to that. One part of the article where she says she lets her husband pick out what she eats. She doesn't make a single decision without consulting him, and she talks about it as if it's romantic. But this isn't romance. It's control. You should be able to decide what to eat without asking your husband. You should be able to dress yourself without getting his input. You don't need his approval for every little thing. She's being controlled by him. And the worst part? She doesn't even realize it. She puts on this fake mask of self-empowerment, but it's just that fake. Being in a controlling relationship.